What's up, peeps? It's your boy Vegabomber, and I'm back. And this time, I'm ready to talk about the worst movies of 2018. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the worst movies and how something like that would happen, or how movies would get on my list. First of all, I don't spend money on movies that I know I'm not going to enjoy. So I don't just go see it just because it's the hit thing. So what I do is I first watch the trailer. And so if the trailer doesn't grab me, that's one thing. Secondly, I will talk to people who have seen the movie, and especially people who are fans of maybe that style of movie. And if they go see it and they don't like it, strike two. I'll also check and see what critics, who I think are great people who can evaluate a film, I see what they say. And if they also say it's not a good film, that's strike three. So 3 strikes, and that'll keep me from going to see that movie. So this is really a list of movies. Most of them on here I haven't seen because I wasn't going to waste the $15 in the theater to see this, because trash is just trash, right? So I'll start first with my honorable mentions. And my honorable mentions, movies that I skipped completely because I just had zero desire. It didn't even matter. I didn't even go look up what other people were saying about it. I just wasn't going to see them. And so those movies that I just was going to skip. Number 1, Ant-Man and Wasp. Don't care, not interested. I like Paul Rudd, but don't care enough to want to go watch this film. The first one was okay, but I certainly didn't care beyond that. Another movie I skipped the same way is Bumblebee. I'm just not a fan of the Transformer deal. I grew up at a time frame, I guess by the time Transformers came out, I was already grown enough that I wasn't playing with toys anymore, so if that's even possible. So Transformers I don't really have any kind of affinity for, so it's easy for me to do that. So Bumblebee, nah, that's okay. I also didn't see Aquaman because, again, like Ant-Man, I don't care for Aquaman. I mean, he talks to fish. Great, cool. You've made him cool now. You gave him a bunch of tattoos and you made him some guy that girls like to look at. Well, great, awesome. But for me, nah. And then finally, probably the biggest movie I skipped this year that goes in this section would be Solo. After seeing The Last Jedi, yeah, I was pretty much done with anything that's Disney related as it relates to Star Wars. In fact, I'll just stick with my old trilogy. I like that better. And there are other films and other TV shows that were out that I think are better, but I didn't care. I wasn't going to go see Solo. And by the way, I still haven't seen Solo. And that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just means my desire level for it. No, I don't have any infinity for it. So again, I didn't go see it. Maybe at some point, this one I might watch on Netflix just because I'm a big Chewie fan. But no, I didn't see it. So enough about that. Let's get into the top 10 movies that were so bad I didn't even waste the time to go see them. Or if I saw them, boy, I was mad. I blew the money on them. So at number 10, the number 10 movie is, believe it or not, Halloween. Now, I felt like it started okay, and I liked the idea that they were trying to add a new twist to it and all that. Oh boy, but that third act was absolutely boring and super predictable. So I kind of walked out of it going, So no, Halloween, no. At number 9, another franchise, if you will, that just probably didn't need to be made, and that would be Predator, the Predator movie that came out this year. Once again, I thought maybe they might do something new and different with it. They started to, but as the movie went on, I found that I didn't care for any of the characters at all, and the movie just, to me, after a while, was just, So, yeah, not in for that one. At number 8, Skyscraper. So this movie was just stupid. I mean, I like Dwayne Johnson. I think he's great at portraying that everyday man who can step up to a challenge and defeat it and rise. I like that. I like that kind of character. But for whatever reason, this movie I just couldn't take seriously. I guess it's a disaster type film or something like that. But I could take it or leave it. I didn't really care that much. So yeah, Skyscrapers, number 8. At number 7, yet another sequel, The Strangers, and again, it's a horror film. So horror films usually make these lists because they're made on the cheap. They usually don't have great acting, and so the result is just the result. I saw the first Strangers. It was okay, but this second one, when a horror movie's funny, when it's not trying to be, that's a bad sign. This movie was so silly, so absurd that you couldn't take it serious enough to be scared in anything that they presented. That's bad. That's way bad. But not to be outdone in that same genre, at number 6 is The Nun. And that hurts because The Conjuring was good. And The Conjuring 2, which kind of showcased The Nun, was a good film as well. I loved it. I thought it was great. But here they go, and they said, well, people will latch on to The Nun, so let's just do it. And they did it. They definitely made a movie. But I'll have none of The Nun. I'll have none of that. Number 5, A Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, now we're getting into the top 5 films of 2018 that are just, to me, a waste of time. And this one's sad for me because I like Ava DuVernay. She did a great job with Selma, but I think as you go further along with these things, you know, you have Oprah in it, but I think I just wasn't the target demographic. I think that movie was made for women and girls, and something about that kind of solidarity between them, and maybe I don't know, but it didn't grab me from the trailer. And then once I did read about it, and then I talked to people who saw it, no, and it's a shame because I like Ava DuVernay. I think Ava DuVernay is great. I loved Selma, and I loved that Netflix documentary she did called 13th Amendment. If you haven't seen that, watch that. Don't watch Wrinkle in Time. Watch 13th of Selma. Much better work. Number 4 is Action Point. So this is a Johnny Knoxville film. This is just a guy running around and doing his own stupid stunts, and they record it. And so, as you can imagine, it's pretty sophomoric. You don't really have to think. It's just turn your brain off and watch it. And sometimes you need those films. But hey, for me, after all the films I watch every year, I like films like that, but I don't like films like that. And in this case, this one, yeah, this is one movie that even if you'd have bought me a ticket to go see it, I'd have just been nice and just try to get sick that day and not go or something. Or I would just try to suggest another movie or something. I wouldn't see that. Now, top 3. And in the top 3, and this one really hurts me as well. It's kind of a pain here. This really touches me. Number 3 is Equalizer 2. And I think the reason why it's this high up on this list is because of such a disappointment it is from the first film. The first film, Equalizer, was excellent. I love the character development between Denzel Washington's character and Chloe, what's her name? Chloe Moretz, whatever. Yeah, you know, Hit Girl. I thought it was excellent. I actually cared. And then the mobsters I thought were great in that film. And so it was the great watch this guy go take down the bad guys to help this girl out. Well, they tried to do some of that here, but they didn't establish the characters. I didn't care about the characters at all. And even just having Denzel Washington's name on it wasn't good enough to save it. It was just bad, putrid, and it's a shame. And I won't buy it on DVD to sit next to my Equalizer 1 on the shelf. I won't buy Equalizer 2. I'm not one of those completists that has to have the whole thing, especially something like that. I can't sign off on that. So no Equalizer 2. Now, the top 2 films that I think are a waste of time for 2018 that would be horrible, and at this point probably even renting. Number 2 would be 50 Shades Freed. Okay, I already don't like that 50 Shades of Grey, whatever, as a series to begin with. And obviously I'm not the target market, but oh my gosh, really? 3 of them? I mean, let's just say, yeah, you have to have a trilogy, but let's just say we did and then don't. I think that would have been a better way to look at that. And so once again, what is that? Now it's what, the Twilight for overly sexed movies and overly sexualized thinking type people, whatever. There's not much of a draw in that for me. And now, the number 1 movie that's a complete disappointment. No way that you probably would even do anything to watch this movie, even if there's nothing else on TV, if you're watching it on Netflix now that it's not in the theaters, and that would be Slender Man. Yes, another horror film. Now, you would think that since horror films are cheap, you know, if you can get at least one or two good actors, and then again, you know what scares people. It's what's scary is the thought of something more so than showing it. But once again, Slender Man, it seemed like it would have a good premise, but it's so disappointed. So I'd have to say, if I'd actually went to go see that movie, I'd been even madder about it. But after reading the reviews, hearing people talk about it who did go see it, and then having friends who are horror fans who saw it because of horror, and they still gave it the huge thumbs down, toilet flush, trash, whatever, then there was no way on God's green that I was going to go see that. So there it is. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? These are the movies of 2018 that I felt like probably would have been better if they were never made. As it were, they'd be better off in a dumpster somewhere on fire. That's what I would do with all of those films. All right. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this, go ahead, subscribe, like, hit that little bell. It's a notification thing. It'll let you know whenever I post new videos, and I'm going to get back on that stick and make sure there's more of them. So what's next? Maybe the movies that I'm interested in seeing for 2019. You down for that? All right. Well, then I'll do that. I'll do that side.